Hello. Okay, so again, I'm not going to be here on Friday, but I do think that those people that are the other class, guys, put your computers away. The other class is probably going to have the same questions that you guys had for on the homework. So any questions that you had on the homework, I'd like to go over right now.
Yeah.
And which
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
High recording.
Tell whether the ordered pair 8-2 is a solution to the system of equations?
I don't know. We know where it is. Wait, find out. Yeah, find it. Yeah, it might be.
All right. I'm kind of hoping that that's
number two.
I'm hoping that number 2.
Yeah. It's just big.
It says consider the system of linear equations, which is different. Is it okay? Yes. No, not now. Okay. Well, there's not much we can do about that now. Though. Let's go ahead and pay attention right now. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure what they're getting at with this question. Does anyone else?
That's what I was saying. Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Does anyone understand?
Yeah, I understand that. I don't know, dude.
It's basically saying this. We've had these before. In other words, which of these is the same thing? But there's 3 of these that are the same thing and one that's not. Solve the system of linear equations. Find the point of intersection of linear equations. Find the ordered pair, the solution of the linear equations. Those are all the same thing.
Is that the one that says like what's different and what's the same?
Correct.
I have no idea what you meant by that.
Okay.
And I ended up guessing I got it right.
All right. It kind of seems like I'm trying to tell you what to do on that. So does it make sense what I just said? Okay, because you weren't listening. So let's listen this time. Okay, let's. What's that? So it should be on your homework too, but right there it says, which of these, there's 4 boxes underneath there. We've had these questions before. In those 4 boxes, which 3 boxes are the same and which one doesn't mean the same thing? So 3 of these things mean the same thing.
That was just wording.
Okay. So are you looking up here? Okay, so which of these is the same thing? Is solving a system, right there, the answer is there. Do you understand that solving the system of linear equations and finding the point of intersection of the graph of linear equations is the same thing? Right? Is that also the same as finding an ordered pair that is the solution of each system of equations? All these things mean the same thing. John, are you good?
I'm good.
All right, I just want to catch you between yawns. All right, so the only thing that's different is solve each equation for y. Right? That doesn't mean solving the system of equations. Okay? How about other questions? Okay, good. Let's go ahead and move on to...
I have a question, but I don't know which one it is because I can't open it.
You can't open yours?
No. 'Cause it's submitted.
All right, so... Number 20? Which was number 20? What's that?
All the way down.
It's the last one.
Okay, the last one, the solve equation.
Can I do it? I know how to do it.
Okay,
Does Sheamus knows how to do something?
all right, you want how to do it? How you going to do it?
Wait, you want me to do it?
Sure, where are you going to do it?
Just keep it up there. I'll do it on the board.
Okay, go ahead. So, 3, are you going to, what are you going to do first, though?
You're gonna, I can't really see it.
It's right here.
You're gonna add or subtract 3/4 x.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, well.
Okay.
I got it right.
So, all right. So let me go ahead and put this one on the board. Why don't you write it on the board for me, right there on the left-hand side? So it's 3/4 x plus 1/4 y equals 5. And it says solve for y.
Yeah, add or minus 3/4 x. So it's 1/4 y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. Right?
Okay. So okay, there was a technique that we used once that helped us with these things. Does anyone remember what it was?
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
What's to do what?
That what you just wrote.
I don't think so.
Yeah, held in.
I understand that you can get it right that way, but there was a different approach that I took to these problems. Does anyone remember? What do we multiply by? 4. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You multiply everything by 4. And again, you can just go ahead and put the 4 up here.
Is that only when they have the same common denominator?
Oh yeah, or if you multiply by the LCD, if the denominators are different, we'll find out. We'll look at that. But typically the denominators have been the same in situations like this. So what's going to happen with the first term? The 4's cancel, right? And I'm left with 3x. All right, Olivia, what happens to the next one? Okay, take your earphone out. Yeah. Go ahead, Hilton.
Cancel out the 4 and just leave it as 1.
Yeah, just y
Just y.
equals
5.
times 4.
5 times 4?
Yeah,
20.
because remember we're multiplying everything by 5. There's no denominator with the 5, so it doesn't cancel. So we just have to multiply it
Oh,
out.
wait, look what I got.
So
Right?
so now
Look what I got. I got y equals negative 3x plus 20.
it's good.
What'd you get?
How did you get that?
Okay.
There you go. Okay, that's the problem. All right, let's.
No, I was gonna do it again. Let me do it again. Come on.
Okay.
Hold on. Say it again.
What's that?
Can you say it again?
Oh, it's kind of like up there. 3 4 6.
3 fourths x plus 1 y. 5. Actually, you should stop. You got 1/4.
I would rather you didn't do that, though. Okay, but go ahead. You can do it.
1/4 y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5, and then divide by 1/4. So
I wouldn't
it's
divide
y.
by 1/4. You're gonna get 1/16 on the side left.
Y equals.
Or you can divide by 1/4. Yeah, okay.
And then negative 3/4, and then you gotta go times 4 over 1. So it's negative 12 over 4, which is negative 3. So negative 3, and then x, and then plus 20. And then that's the right answer.
Yeah, that is definitely the right answer. Okay, but anyway, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and move on.
Hey.
All right.
Can I get an applause or what?
What's that? I don't know. It just seemed like the answer just suddenly appeared. But anyway, does anybody, what I want you to guys to do is, in terms of being prepared for Algebra 2 and pre-calculus, multiplying by the LCD is going to be the main way to do these things. So even though you could get the right answer that way, all right, understood. So let's go ahead and move on to. Let's go ahead and any other questions on that? Are we good? Okay. So what I want to do right now is move to our next lesson. Let me hand out the packet. Someone hand this out to me for everyone. Thank you, Jojo. I appreciate that. And what we're going to do is we're going to learn a different way of solving. Last night we were solving by. Let's put our computers away because we're done using them. So there's no need to look at them right now. And except for those people that are listening to this video right now, so that are going to watch this. So what we're going to do is. We're going to go into solving in an algebraic way. And this is called substitution. And many of us have probably seen this before. So, alrighty. You don't know how to do it?
Well, I don't know what.
I'll
Like, I remember the word.
Okay, so what we'll do is I'm going to have copy these two equations down. One of them is going to be y equals minus 2x minus 9, and the other equation is going to be
Right there.
6x minus 5y equals negative 19. Okay, I'll get you guys, once you guys get that, please copy down these two equations. And again, one of the ways that we could solve this, we could try to graph both of these. if we graph them, if we graph them, the intersection point will be the solution. Has everyone got that? Got that? So again, this is called systems of equations. Anytime we have we have two or more equations, we call that a system. The solution to a system is what again? Graphically, what's the solution? Where the intersection. And then algebraically, what's the solution? The point that works for both lines, right? Okay, so substitution. In substitution, I want you to think of this as kind of like, I don't know, I'm a bit like a home mechanic, and so like one of the things is when I try to get a part, there's like different numbers that might mean the same part that you can substitute. And so what I look at is I've got two things here. I've got this equation here. Stop you. I want to do this one. This equation here shows me that y and the 2x minus 9 are the same thing. So basically these two values are interchangeable. So anywhere I see a y, I can put this number minus 2x minus 9. They are, in this situation, mean the exact same thing. But what's the advantage of that? Is that what I can do is I can take that minus 2x minus 9 and I can substitute it in for that y value. Does everyone see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? Well, the 6x stays the same.
6x minus 5, parentheses open, negative 2x minus 9.
Excellent.
Equals negative.
All right. So for a moment it looks a little nasty, but we can deal with it. So let's. What's my first step? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally's going to be the multiply, right?
You have to do
Exponents.
parentheses.
Parentheses. So there's nothing we can do inside the parentheses, so we're going to go to the multiplication part. So we got 6x, and can someone distribute this for
Plus
me?
10x plus, what is that, 45?
Yeah. Good. Almost there, guys, right? Simplify both sides.
6x and 10 is 16x.
So 45 equals the negative 19, and now I'm going to...
Minus 45, subtract 45.
God, these are getting big numbers for this book, huh? So now I have 16x equals
64.
64. Tell me it comes out even. But
Negative 64.
thank you. And so I divide both the negative 64 by 16, and it comes out to an even 4? Is that right?
Yeah, negative.
So x equals 4. Now remember that, negative 4, thank you. You guys are good. So remember though, the answer to a solution is actually a point. I have the x value, I need a y value for that. Where can I get the y value from?
That equation right.
From this equation at the top here, right?
Oh, wait, is that what we were supposed to do in that one question last night?
You
When
could
it was
have.
like y equals negative 5.
You could have done that, yeah.
I couldn't figure that out.
Okay, but anyway, there was those three. Don't worry about those three questions that you didn't have to do for homework. I'll compensate for that on the grid. But anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in that negative 4 and do the same thing. I'm going to substitute the value negative 4 in the top equation to see if I can figure out what y is. So that becomes y equals negative 2 times negative 4 minus 9, right? Negative 2 times negative 4, 8 minus 9, y equals negative 1. So how should I write the solution? I need to write it as a point. So I got y equals negative 1, and I have x equals negative 4.
Negative 4, comma negative 1.
Negative 4, comma negative 1. That's it. Okay, so this is one of two algebraic approaches that we're going to use to solve systems of equations. This when you come in next year, this is going to be one of the questions they're going to test you on. Is can you solve two linear equations?
That's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, so so if your teacher's nice, he's not going to give you a million questions to do for homework, right? But if it takes if it takes a long time, hopefully we won't do as many of them. Got it? So anyway, let's go to the next one. The next one, monitoring progress. Let's do let's do this one first. Ready? I'll give you this one to do. Y equals 3x plus 14, and y equals negative 4x. So in this case, you can either substitute the top one into the bottom one or the bottom one into the top one. You can't go wrong.
Can you just do negative 4x times 3x?
Negative 4x, you mean negative 4x equals 3x plus 14. You could do that. Or what did you want to do?
Negative 4x times 3x. You get negative 12x plus 14.
Wait, why are you multiplying the...
I don't know. Just trying to do stuff.
So what we need, okay. You want to start us off, Jojo? What do you think?
No.
Okay, you don't want to start? I'll tell you what.
Yeah, Joe.
I'm still trying to figure.
Okay, so look, so basically we have interchangeable parts, right?
Yeah.
So let's just start at the top one. Notice that y equals that, right? So anywhere, now if we go down to the next equation, anywhere we see a y, we can do what? We can put, so anywhere we see a y, we can put the 3x plus 14, right? Because 3x plus 14 is exactly the same thing as y.
Could it be 3x plus 14 equals negative 4x?
Exactly. Right?
So then, minus 3x. Oh no.
You could do that. You can go minus 3x. All right? Because you're trying to get the x's together, right?
So it'd be 7 or negative 7, or so 14 equals negative 7x.
Right?
And then it would be negative 2.
Right. You're going to divide both sides by negative 7. Excellent. Or you can just write, right, negative 7 times what is negative 14. So you're going to get x equals negative 2. You just flip it over, right? Am I done?
Where'd you put the y value?
Unfortunately not. I have to get the y value. Where do I go get the y value?
Top.
Any other problem?
Yeah. Does it matter? Does
Plus
it matter what
14?
equation? Doesn't matter what equation, believe it or not. You get the exact same answer either way. But the
Smaller one.
But the easier one is this one, right? So y is going to be equal to negative 4 times negative 2. So y equals positive 8. Final answer is going to be negative 2, comma 8. There it is. How's that work? So, but, okay, Jonathan's wrong. He's right. It's long, but manageable, right? If you don't do 100 of them. I was only going to do 50 of them tonight, right? Just kidding. Yeah, okay. Let's go.
I'll take a 0.
You going to take a 0?
50 questions?
I'm going to tell your dad that, too. I think it's okay, just kidding. Okay, let's go ahead and try another one. Guys ready? Yes.
May I go to the restroom?
Okay, yeah, don't rest too much, though, all right? Okay, next question. Equation 1 is 3x, and we're going to be solving these by substitution. Plus 2y equals 0. A lot of students like substitution. I don't know.
I like it.
And then you go y equals 1/2 x minus 1. You don't like that?
I hate fractions.
How do you do it?
Well, which one is set up to substitute?
The top one.
The top one. You would put the bottom one into the top.
Put the bottom one into the top. Let's see what happens when we do that without changing anything.
3x plus 2 and then times 1/2 x and then minus 1.
Okay, that actually is not going to be so bad because does anyone know what 2 times 1/2 is?
Yeah, it's 1, but
Yeah, there you go.
it's x.
So it's going to be 1x.
You don't
Right.
need to put the 1 to put the x.
So I somehow I don't have an equal sign anywhere here, do I? Y equals, equals 0. Sorry about that. Okay.
3x plus x minus 1.
Okay, how am I doing? Okay, how am I doing over here? Shane, do you see what happened? Right? Have I lost you yet? Okay, so I took this value here for y, and I'm substituting it in to there, right? So I take this value and I'm pushing it in there for the y. Okay? And the nice thing is that the fraction goes away right away. And that's because the math teacher wrote this book. Make sure it's going.
If x equals 1/4.
So you get 3x, you got it already? 3x equals, like 3x plus x minus 2 equals 0.
I'm not
What's the minus 2 come from?
Let's look at that. Make sure you're convinced.
I got X.
What's
Wait,
the,
wait,
what's
where
the
does the
minus
minus 2
2?
come from?
I got X.
It's minus 1.
Shot here.
Look, okay, I'm distributing, right? 2 times 1/2 x is the x. And now I have to multiply the 2 times the negative 1.
Wait, why do you have to distribute with the negative 1?
You have to distribute both of them. There's 2 numbers inside the parentheses. So the 2 has to be multiplied by the 2 numbers. All right? So it's got to be multiplied by the 1/2 x and the negative 1. Okay, make sure everyone's good with this right now before I move on. Right? Does everyone see how we got the minus 2 there? Right, we just multiplied the 2 times the negative 1. Now, combine the like terms. So what do I have now?
4x minus 2 equals 0.
Minus 2 equals 0. Shane, what do I do next to get this solved? Add 2, good. And almost there, right? 4x equals 2.
Divide by 4.
Right. And so what's that going to be? X equals 1/2. So, all right. So let's go ahead and plug 1/2 in for x. Is everyone got their little fraction thing bothering them right now? It's like, oh, I hate fractions. But anyway, let's just do it. Y equals 1/2 times 1/2 minus 1. What's 1/2 times 1/2, anyone?
No.
Times.
1/4?
It is 1/4. And minus 1. Ooh. What's 1 in fourths? 4/4. That might make it easier. Minus 4/4. All right. If you get the common denominator, sometimes it makes it a little easier to understand. Does anyone know what 1/4 minus 4/4 is?
Negative
1 minus 4?
-3/4.
Yeah, it is negative 3/4. Okay, sorry, that wasn't a very nice one, but what is the final answer here?
1/2, comma, -3.
All right. All right. So if we're not biased about, if we're not showing our bias about the, am I still recording? Yeah, good. About fractions, I think that this one's not too bad. Can you guys try one more?
It's the hardest thing I've ever seen.
Let's see if we can do this one on your own. If you can do this one on your own, we're in a great place moving forward, right?
I can't do it.
So you can't do what?
This is the hardest thing I've ever seen.
It is pretty much the hardest thing ever. Yeah.
Fine.
So, so here, ready? See if you can figure this one out. So it's going to be x equals 6y minus 7. In the second equation is going to be 4x plus y equals -3. And for you folks on Friday,
On the bottom, right?
for the other class, for the D period class, is that big enough?
No, like small.
Oh, make it smaller?
I want to see the top question too.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, good. So go ahead and give this one a swing. I'm gonna pause this video just so we're not taking up time. When you, those of you that are listening to this on Friday, my D period class, once you're done with this, go ahead and turn it on, and the solution will be there. All right. So we're signing on with those other class. But anyway, right, so what you're going to do is, in this case, what's going to be your substituted value? Which one's all set up to go? Is the first equation, right? You got the x equals the 6y minus 7. So 6y minus 7 in this equation, in this situation, is exactly the same as x. So I can replace the x on the bottom equation with the 6y minus 7. All right? Rewrite the bottom equation without the x, but substituting the 6y minus 7. Solve, simplify. You get to 25y equals 25, y equals 1. And then we go back up to the substituted equation, substitute that in, Substitute the 1 in for the top equation. X becomes -1, and the final solution is -1, 1. Any other questions on that stuff?
No, sir.
Okie dokie. All right, so let's go. We're just gonna move up to the vars. Okay, that was kind of like JV. Let's just move up to like at least starting JV level.
Let's go down to freshman.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah, can we go down to freshman team?
You want to go to the freshman team?
Yeah. Or like middle school.
Okay, this could be the starting.
Straight team would be nice.
Okay, that was starting freshman at least. Anyway, all right. So I guess we're gonna move to JV.
Wait, I thought that was the last question.
No, that was the last question for example 1. That was example 2. Example 2. This is one level higher. You guys are almost there. This is gonna be. You're almost there. And it's only a 1-hour class, guys. You're gonna be listening to some music and a little bit everything to get excited about.
24 minutes.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at this one and tell me what's wrong with it. Why is this one? Why is this one?
You have to do plus x and then add it to the side of the 3. And then you get,
Wait, how do you know this one? Is it on there?
I don't know what.
Dude, he was so
Yeah, we had these on there.
Yeah.
So you add x.
Wait, that's on your sheet?
Yeah, and then y equals 20.
-1. Okay. So okay. The question is, of course,
Equals 6.
what's that?
Equals 6.
Okay, so the problem with this one is it's not immediately ready to substitute, right? Because it's not solved for either an x or a y. Now, the beauty of substitution is you can choose either equation or either variable, but oftentimes there's an easier one to solve for. Which one makes it easier to create an equation to solve for?
The first one.
The second one's possible. What would you do to the second one? To make it so you could,
Make it possible?
to make it so we could substitute
First
in
one's easier.
Subtract the 3.
the 3x.
Yeah.
Right. So she's saying if I subtract 3x,
So you have y equals -3x.
right, and I could substitute that value in, right? -1. Could I also have added x to the first one? Right? So the answer is you'll get the same answer either way. So take either equation and solve for either variable so that you could substitute it into the other equation. Okay? So let's go ahead and do it this way. So now we have y is equal to -3x minus 1. And up here, so we're going to take the other equation and we're going to put our substitute part.
It's the hardest thing you've ever seen.
It is. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the fact that you're understanding half of it means that you're like a genius.
It's just impossible.
Okay, so let's go ahead and rewrite it. It's going to be -x, Jojo, right?
Yeah.
-x, keep going. Now I substitute instead of the y, I'm going to write what?
1. Oh, no, -3x minus 1
-3x minus 1
Big Joe.
equals what?
equals y. No.
Equals the
3.
3.
Nice.
Okay, and so now I've got -4x minus 1 equals 3.
Yo, it's acapella from Yale, right?
Yeah.
Nick,
Oh, add 1 to 3.
right?
And then it's -4x equals 4, and then it's -1.
X equals -1. Okay, and then what I can do is I can take this, I take this equation and I go to my substituted equation and I plug it in. I get y equals -3 times -1 minus 1. Y equals 4.
How do you get -x?
Sorry.
Minus, you added, right? You added.
Then we go -3 times -1 is just going to be 3, right? 3 minus 1. And then y equals 2. Final answer, -1, 2. Now, would any of you have thought of doing it a different way? How about the top equation? What if you added x to both sides? Could you have instead, look at guys, could you have instead taken this equation here and subtract and added x to both sides to get a value for y?
Yes.
Yeah, you could have done that, and that would have worked too, right? So you've got a lot of choices here, which for a lot of you guys you don't want, right? but you got a lot of choices. You want to pick the equation where it's easiest to get the variable by itself.
I think we're done with these.
Ready?
So we get a break.
Yeah, I don't think so. Is that going to be all right? Unless you want to just stand up and stretch right now.
5-minute break.
We
We don't have to go to I just
10 minutes.
Uh,
20-minute break.
um,
4 months.
You want 30, we want 10. Make it 20.
okay, at this point, I'm going to ask you guys to finish the packet. This is for the recording, guys. And in a moment, I'm going to unpause this, and I will give you guys the solutions to the answers to the questions that we just did. So, get to work.
You are going to give the solutions?
Yeah, in a moment, in a moment I'll write the answers.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let me give you the answers to the other questions. So the monitoring progress, that's the ones you guys are doing right now. I would imagine some of you guys are done, some of you are not. All right. Nick, what did you get for the answer to number 4?
So it's negative x plus y equals negative 4.
All right. Well, just go ahead and just give me the answer. Or did you not do it?
I did it.
Okay.
It's not right.
Why don't you just be
It's not
honest?
going to be right.
Just be honest. You didn't do it.
No,
Not
right.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Go ahead, Damien.
Like just the answer?
Yes.
Negative 1, 3.
Huh. I got something different. Oh wait, which one are you on?
Oh, I'm on 4.
Okay. All right. Oh, I'm looking for monitoring progress number 4. The one that says x plus y equals negative 2. And
Oh, it's gonna be right. I got it. I did it. Negative 2, 0.
that is correct. So the answer is negative 2, 0 for this question. All right. Number 5. Anyone think they have that? Did anyone get number 5?
Yeah. Number 5, I got 2 comma negative 2.
2 comma negative 2.
Yeah.
All right. And if you got that wrong, if you're in the recording version of this thing, then please join with someone and find out what you did wrong. Going to the next one. All right. Number 4. Go ahead, Johnny.
Number 4 or 6?
6. Sorry about that.
6,
6 comma.
and that one, I guess 3 or 1. When I got 1.
Okay. Actually,
17.
it is 17.
I got negative 4 comma negative 13.
Ooh, we might have to do that one. And then number 7, the answer was negative 2. Negative 9 halves. Ooh.
I did that one wrong too.
Yeah, that didn't look like fun. Would you like me to do?
Yeah, you do 6 and 7.
So let's go ahead and take a look at 6. And
Really have to do number 6?
do you have to do number 6? I don't know. Okay, so let me do number 6 really quickly. Just watch up here, please. I've got
Negative.
I got
X
2x minus y equals negative 5. 3x minus y equals 1. What do you think I should? What's your choice?
Go with the top one.
Solve for y?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I take this one, I solve for y. I got 2x minus y equals negative 5. Subtract 2x. That's one way to do it. You got minus y equals minus 2x minus 5. What can I do to make that y positive?
Distribute the y.
Okay, I can multiply every term by what? Or divide every term by
Negative 1.
-1. All right, so basically it changes the sign of everything, right? So I'm going to get y equals 2x. Negative 2 over negative 1 is positive 2. and it's going to be plus 5. All right? So now I can take this 2x plus 5, and I can substitute it into here. All right? And if I do that, I get 3x minus, and I'm going to put in parentheses, the 2x minus plus 5 equals 1. So it's the same equation. It's just that I replaced the y with that. 3x minus 2x minus 5. I have to distribute the negative sign to both of them. Equals 1. X minus 5 equals 1. Add 5. And I get x equals 6. Now that I have x equals 6, I can plug it into this equation, the substitute equation. I get y equals 2 times 6 plus 5. What's 2 times 6? Plus 5 is? There it is. So the final answer is going to be 617. All right. And then the last question was -2, 9/2. Of course, we don't like fractions very much sometimes, but if you don't get that one, we can do it again later. Okay, guys. Your homework's posted. You guys that are getting this on Friday, you still have time to complete the assignment, and I would recommend that you do just that. So get to the assignment. The assignment is on Big Ideas website, and the assignment is called, let me see, the assignment is called HW 4, not 4, it's going to be 5.2a.
Leave this here.
Right.
I'm never gonna need it at home.
That's probably true. Yeah, go ahead. But leave it somewhere, maybe that bottom shelf or something.
Well, I'm doing the exact same thing actually.
Okay, everybody. Have a good weekend. D period class. Take care, Boris.
I love you, boys.
There you go. So you got some fans. You got some fans in the A period class. Boris.
Boys.
Okay, signing out.